Of course, as always, we know now how the things are looking on the roads.
Yeah.
Things could change within the hour because you know how Nairobi traffic can be. So always, please keep us in the loop. Keep tweeting us at K24 TV as we get all the details as far as that's concerned. But right here, we get into the big stories of the day. It's time for your newspaper review. And at this particular point in time, we'll go through the dailies, look at the front pages first. Then from there, take it, of course, to my panel. Dennis Anyoka is already here to look at what actually this means as we get into the stories in a bit more detail. We look at the front page of the People Daily right now. People Daily's front page, I am tired. I don't want another job, says Uhuru. President tells of Ruto allies for claiming that the Building Bridges initiative with ODM leader Raila is meant to create a position for him to stay on in power after 2022. That's what the People Daily's front page is talking about this morning. We move on to the Daily Nation's front page. Battle for Fidel's riches jolts Raila family. Mrs. Raila Odinga and her daughter Winnie want the letters of administration of Fidel's estate granted to his widow Luam Bekele in January revoked and given to them. They accuse the widow of, among other issues, sidelining twins they say were born to Fidel by another woman. As part of the conditions from the court, as parties agree to conduct DNA tests, widow tells court she's ready to include the twins as beneficiaries of Fidel's estate only if it's proved that they are indeed his children. Family intrigues is what makes the front page of the Daily Nation this morning. We move on now to the Standard. A country for old people. The president loves the youth, but gives key strategic jobs to old men and women, according to a review of appointments in the Kenya Gazette. And as you can see on the front page, tells it all. Moody Awori, 91 years of age, the chairperson of the Sports, Art and Social Development Fund. Manu Chandari at 89, Chancellor of the Technical University of Kenya. Noah Wekesa, 83, the chair of the Strategic Food Reserve Fund, and the list goes on and on and on right there. That's what the Standard is talking about this morning. Front page of the Star, Raila family row. Court rejects Ida's plea to gag media. Odinga's wife has objected to the granting of her son's estate's administration rights to Bekele. Judge orders DNA tests for twins allegedly sired by Fidel. The family intrigue is also capturing the attention of the Star this morning. And finally, the front page of the Business Daily. Uhuru rejects rate cap in memo to Parliament. The House clerk is expected to inform MPs about objection to clause setting limit for interest on loans. Is a good thing for private sector or not? It's still a wait and see on this one, but we'll touch on that as well this morning. Let's get to my first panelist, who's here bright and early, Dennis Anyoka. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Let's look at this particular front page of the People Daily as we wake up this morning.
Yes.
Uhuru saying that he's tired, doesn't want another job. But when you look at the headline, it really speaks to what's going on right now, because President is telling off his deputy president's allies.
Yes.
What does that mean for the administration moving forward? Because clearly, if your number two, your principal assistant's allies, are talking from a different script and challenging you and saying that you want a job in 2022, are you really working together towards the development agenda by 2022?
I think, Jeff, we need to admit that there has always been a disconnect between the deputy president and the president, especially after the second term, they came to office the second term.
Was it the second term that started
Yes.
it, or the handshake that started this division?
I think it was more of, the handshake came so soon after they came into office the second term. The first time, there was a spirit of brotherhood that existed, yes. And you could see the president and deputy walking hand in hand, right. Wearing the same shirts and ties in right. functions, public right. appearances. You know, clearly you could see they had a close relationship. That has not happened with the entry of Raila Odinga into the entire question of the handshake. And there has been mischief that has been read by the deputy president's side. And that expressly has been something that they have been very uncomfortable with. And they felt that whatever came out of that process, which for them was the BBI, I don't think they have seen anything to do with, you know, bringing the country together or creating a peaceful environment. What the deputy president's people are seeing is that the handshake brought in a formula, or they are giving suggestions where we could easily have the president coming in for a second term. And we've seen other people proposing that they probably going forward, we should be able to have the president going for another, you know, position within the new structure that is likely to be proposed. And I remember notably, the person who started all this is Banatoli, who publicly said that Uhuru is a very young person. Where right. will he want to go? I mean, we want to have him remain within power. And that has been seen as something that probably the BBI want to bring on board. But what I read from all this is that this is the head of state who is publicly saying he's tired.
Right.
That is not a good sign for any CEO of any institution to tell their people, look, I am tired. When a person is tired, it means they're not interested in executing any further functions.
Right.
So this is a very bad sign coming from a president. It is similar to a statement that he made some years back that when people are saying that there's a lot of runaway corruption, he asks, what do you want me to do?
Right.
This is a similar setup, only for different statements.
Right.
You can't, as head of state, declare how tired you are. If you are tired, it means then you are even unfit to carry on your functions going forward because you cannot execute your mandate. Secondly, it's possible that probably he does not need another job. But the question is, does the country require constitutional amendments and have the discussion on a referendum at this stage? There are many issues that need to be addressed. The president seems focused on ensuring that whatever comes out of the BBI as a report, which we've seen in previous media reports, that the report is ready, he seems to be keen to ensure that it is implemented. That is basically what he's trying to put across. From all this statement, he's saying that he will ensure that he himself and Raila Odinga and those like-minded politicians are going to deliver on whatever that will come out from the BBI report. Whereas we say wait and see what the report contains, but the body language shows that he is a committed person to ensure that the same is implemented.
Exactly. And I want us to dig a bit deeper on that particular second point you've brought in, because even in the story they talk about, and it's a quote from him, we'll be back with the BBI very soon. Let no one lie to you that it is about politics. He said this, of course, at this particular commissioning of the SGR at the Ngong station right there. And it almost seems like this is on page 4 of the People Daily therein, if you're following us on online as well. And the thing there is the fact that it seems like if there's one thing he is determined on personally as Uhuru Kenyatta is to see this BBI through.
Exactly. In fact, his body language, his statements all along has been that he really wants to ensure that whatever comes as a report, because he believes strongly from what we see, even from this statement, that that is the only way that we could have a country, you know, going forward, remain, you know, unified, have elections that are not, you know, violent, and we move forward. And the question is, why do Kenyans fight after every election?
Right.
It's not because of any other thing that is going to happen from the BBI report. It's because we lack integrity in the way we conduct our elections.
Right. It's
because Kenyans don't believe that if Uhuru was to win, he truly won the elections. It's because the entire process seems to be, you know, shrouded in a lot of mischief and all this.
Right.
If we could have a process that has its own integrity, it wouldn't matter if it's Uhuru Kenyatta who would have become president, if it's Raila Odinga, or even if it's Dennis Anyoka who would have had as president became president.
Right.
People will be satisfied that's the person they voted for, and that is the result that was declared. So Kenyans fight because of that process. And that should be tied together with the level of poverty of Kenyans. If a person believes strongly that their candidate will deliver them from the poverty and the pains that they go through, then they are told that this person has been rigged out. You do not expect any peace. Whatever level of constitutional amendment you do, it does not matter what the kind of legislative amendments you do. Kenyans will not be, those who will believe in that particular candidate, who they will be told has been rigged out, will never be happy. Okay. So that needs to be addressed, and that is the problem, and that I doubt whether it requires BBI.
And even as we talk about that, let's welcome Honorable Jacoyo Midio, who's now joined us. Morning, my good sir. As you joined us, we're looking at the People Daily's front page right there. And what they are in, it means, of course, yesterday commissioning the second phase of the SGR. The president saying he's tired, doesn't want another job, but also from the body language, as Dennis Anyoka was saying, and the utterances he made, we'll be back with the BBI very soon. Let no one lie to you, it's all about politics. It seems that President Uhuru Kenyatta is determined to make sure this BBI goes through, if it's the one thing he will do with this particular initiative.
Well, I think the president is groping with issues beyond his reach. Let me begin with what he did yesterday. I liked what the president did yesterday with this overpass, the flow of traffic from the Mombasa side to dropping them to the other side of our country, which is now James Gishuru going forward. That, to me, I think is a project I would support. It is 60 billion, as they said. I'm sure it will be about $1 trillion when it is over with. But it's a good project. suffice it to say that he should have told Kenyans why it didn't take off when Kibaki was in presidency, because he knows. But it is a good project. Secondly, allow me also to disagree with the SGR to nowhere, which is just a project which is meant to fleece Kenyans.
So you don't feel this second phase is profitable, will bring the return it should give?
It is his family project, and they are so busy trying to authenticate it.
What do you mean when you say that? Because they say by the time it gets to Suswa, Suswa is nowhere right now, but with the railway line, there will be development there, other people will start their businesses, and then it will lead eventually to somewhere, with development around the railway track.
Jeff, did you know Nairobi National Park is the only park in the city, or in a city,
in the world.
Anywhere in the world?
True.
So why the hell would you want to take a motorized anything to it if it was our selling attraction? I say that because, I'm a very depressed Kenyan. Because you do things, why are you forcing things down our throat? Because whoever said the SGR must pass through the park is the most brainless human being ever born. Because then where would the animals go? When the trains come tuk, 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 where do the animals go? So what they have done for us is to kill tourism in Nairobi. And we have no business clapping for them. Mm-hmm. So it is okay, they have made their money. And why is it not being investigated to the extent that it went through a grabbed piece of land, which is here near ICD, where it now took the opposite trajectory? How do you build a rail line that does not pass through the capital city? How is it possible that a train station, a train line can come from Mombasa to Nairobi but does not get into Nairobi? It flickers Machakos, then it goes into our park to interfere with our animals. Something is wrong. We must just do it differently. And I can tell you, sooner or later we shall be questioning those things with facts, because we have the facts.
Right.
Now,
what about his
the
posture
president
on the BBI?
says he wants to leave us with the BBI. I want to say shame on him. All of us supported the handshake. The handshake came with the BBI. But shame on them, because you can't keep it a secret from us for 2 years and expect us to support it. Nobody is nobody's child. You should have just put the facts on the table. We should have deliberated on the facts so that Kenyans know what they are expecting. It is the requirement of the Constitution they are trying to change, the right of information.
They're pushing back and saying that, okay, fine, it is not a secret. The team is about to give this report. They shall table the report, and the whole country will see what they want to do and what they want to move forward.
A team that moves in to do something they know and procrastinates for 2 years, that is not a good team. If the time to do it is 5 years. Really, I mean, even you in your house, if you only have 5 years to do something, Jeff, and you only have 5 years, would you just do the planning for 2 years, just the planning alone? So when is the implementation period?
That's a very important point.
Now, look at it this way, just so it makes sense to our viewers, that the country has no money. Parliament has just increased the debt ceiling to 9 trillion. So we are increasing our debt ceiling to do a constitution whose content we don't know. And I am a very big supporter of the handshake. Even if you asked my brother Raila Odinga, he knows. From inception, I love the idea of handshake because Kenya must be together. Remember, I am not in parliament because I always said Kenya must be together.
Let's take a short break at that particular point in time. We come back because some key issues have been put out right there. We'd like your view as well as far as this is concerned. Honorable Midu also talking about the fact that even the SGR that was being commissioned, very many questions asked on that. Private interests put front instead of national interest on that. What's your take on that? And of course, the fact that the president says the handshake isn't about him, BBI is not about his job. He wants to bring Kenya together. We'd love your say on it at K24 TV. You can also SMS us on 21222. We are back after the break. We'll have Honorable Fatuma Gedi on set as well as we look at the big stories of the day. This is K24 This Morning.